These stalkers, gang stalkers, flying monkeys, whatever you want to call them, some of them have this ability of being able to communicate amongst themselves using some sort of synthetic telepathy. It's either that or they might be hybrids or full throttle reptilians. I have observed communications between stalkers telepathically. No, I don't have V2K. No, I don't hear audible voices in my head. It's more of a strong discernment of being able to pick up on the communications. Just to give an example, I have a friend who I believe is a hybrid or a possible full-on reptilian. The reason why I consider her as a bit of a friend is because she's never wronged me. She's always been there for me whenever I've needed her. Whenever I was going through my court stuff, she was always there for me and always took care of business that I needed to have taken care of. So anyways, I was going to a court hearing. This was in reference to something that I was charged with, a crime that I did not commit, by the way. So I went to court with her, with this friend, and when I walked into the courtroom, I noticed one of the assistant, I guess you could say assistant prosecutors, looked at my friend and had this communication with her. And the communication was that of disgust, almost as if like she was saying, "What are you doing with him? He is not one of us. He is not one of our kind," type of communication. And I picked up on it. And I said to my friend, I was like, "Wow, what was that about?" And she didn't say a word because she knows that I have high discernment. She knows that I know about them, quote unquote. So anyways, I was able to pick up on that. If you pay close attention to your persecutors, these stalkers, they have these communications in front of you all the time. Sometimes they will use hand signals. They will use these gestures towards their hair, like they'll pull their hair back from away from their face. A lot of women do this. It's them communicating and sending communications to other stalkers and sometimes to the target. Again, I don't have V2K, I don't hear voices, but it's just a strong discernment and ability to pick up on what they're saying. Another reason why I'm making this video is because I want to show you guys a clip from the movie called The Shining. It gives a perfect example of what I'm speaking of. Oftentimes these movie directors, they know a lot about what goes on in this world, and they put a lot of truth in these movies. So it's kind of like in your face, letting you know what's really going on and the type of people or creatures that you have around you. But let me go ahead and play this clip. So in this scene, you have Calloran, who is the African-American gentleman. He is given a tour of the Outlook Hotel in the movie The Shining. So in this scene is Calloran, the little boy Danny, and Danny's mom. So Calloran is talking to his mother, and while he's talking to his mother, Calloran is directly having communications, telepathic communications with this little boy Danny. So let me go ahead and play the scene so you can kind of get an idea of what these stalkers do amongst themselves in front of the TI.
This is where we keep all the dry goods and the canned goods. We got canned fruits and vegetables, canned fish and meats, hot and cold cereals, Post toasters, cornflakes, sugar puffs.
Let me pause it real quick. Do y'all hear that ringing noise? Does that sound familiar? I know there are TIs out there that experience the ringing in the ears. It's also been said by people that experience V2K that they get a lot of ringing in their ears. So I thought that was pretty interesting that that's also depicted in this movie.
Rice Krispies, oatmeal, wheat, deal, and cream of wheat. You got a dozen jugs of black molasses. We got 60 boxes of dried milk, 32-pound bags of sugar. How'd you like some ice cream, Doc?
So you hear what he says. He says the little boy's name. He's like, "How would you like some ice cream, Doc?" That's his nickname in the movie. The boy's name is Danny, but his nickname is Doc. So this guy was talking to his mother, but at the same time telepathically communicating with Danny. Okay.
Sociables, angle rolls, and several kinds of what have you. Now we got dried peaches, dried apricots, dried raisins, and dried prunes. You know, Mrs. Torrance, you gotta keep regular if you want to be happy.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you getting on?
Just fine.
Dick, can we borrow Mrs. Torrance for a few minutes? We're on our way through to the basement. I promise we won't keep her very long.
No problem, Mr. Owen. I was just getting to the ice cream. You like ice cream, Doc?
Yeah.
I thought you did. You folks don't mind.
See, he goes on to talk about getting the ice cream for the little boy after he just asked the little boy about ice cream telepathically. So that's just an example of what these people can truly do. I'm not saying they all have that ability, these stalkers, but a lot of them I've been able to, that's how they're able to elaborately set you up, because they have the ability to speak to each other, and they don't even have to be in each other's presence. They can do it from a distance as well. I have observed this on many occasions. This second part is where Calloran is explaining to the little boy about the ability, letting him know it's called shining. I'll play some of this clip, but before I do that, I want to reference something in the Bible. King David, I believe it was Psalm 41:7. Bear with me, I didn't really prepare for this video. Alright, so Psalm 41:7 through 13, I'll go ahead and read it. All my enemies whisper together against me. They imagine the worst for me, saying, a vile disease has afflicted him. He will never get up from the place where he lies. Even my close friend, someone I trusted, one who shared my beard, has turned against me. But may you have mercy on me, O Lord. Raise me up, that I may repay them. I know that you are pleased with me, for my enemy does not triumph over me. Because of my integrity you uphold me and set me in your presence forever. Praise be to the Lord God of Israel, the everlasting, from everlasting to everlasting. Okay? The first part of this, where he says, all my enemies whisper together against me. Could King David have possibly been talking about these stalkers, these persecutors who have existed on this earth for a very long time? Could King David have been talking about their telepathic abilities? Because again, I don't hear an audible voice. I don't have V2K. It's a discernment of knowing what they're plotting and what they're saying without even hearing a voice. Okay? So I just wanted to show you guys that in the Bible. It's all listed in the Bible. Let me go back to this other scene that I was speaking of real quick, where he's explaining the shining.
Do you know how I knew your name was Doc? You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I can remember when I was a little boy, my grandmother and I could hold conversations entirely without ever opening our mouths. She called it shining. And for a long time, I thought it was just the two of us that had to shine to us. Just like you probably thought you was the only one. But there are other folks, though mostly they don't know it or don't believe it.
You see? So that's the truth right in front of your face. These people do exist. That's how they're able to elaborately set up the targeted individual. The cell phones, I think, is more of a prop, or something of that nature that they use to try to make it seem as if it's all about the cell phone, or they're getting instructions from the cell phones. These people have either synthetic telepathy, like a type of technological means or something, or they just have this natural ability because there's some sort of hybrid or full throttle reptilian. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Also, one more thing before I end the video. This friend that I was speaking of that, kind of helps me out sometimes, or has helped me out in the past rather, because I haven't seen her in like over a year. But I asked her if she was a reptilian, and do you know what her response to me was? She sang the lyrics to this song called Royals by Lord. Let me look it up. Alright, so this song right here, the part of the lyrics that says, baby, I rule, I rule, I rule, I rule. She sang that part to me as a response to me asking her if she was a hybrid or reptilian. How odd is that? And then after she sang those lyrics,